We're going into production on our next feature in August of 2025. That project's called Send the Rain. That's a feature film we've been developing for, I'm going to say 2 years. That's going to camera this year. It's been pre-licensed by Crave, it'll be distributed by Vortex Media. And then on top of that, we have a number of projects that are in development. Hopefully we'll have more news on that soon.
And Send the Rain is co-written, co-directed, and being DP'd by fellow FIPR alumni Carlett Decker.
A big hallmark of the company is, especially when we were getting started, we did work with a lot of alumni, continue to still work with a lot of alumni. I think that sort of speaks to sort of the connective tissue between the film production community at UBC is like we all very much still stay in touch and try to help or, find resources for each other where possible. So that was a big hallmark of when we got started, and certainly with projects that now that we're getting into bigger projects, looking to close, collaborators who are also alumni for those as well.
I always think back to this project we did called Laura, which was a Story Hive project, and that it was actually one of our first short films. I think that was the moment where, I don't know, it's just kind of one of those moments where I look back at that film and I think, wow, we were in the pocket. That was when like all the amazing creative collaboration just came together so well. And it has in other projects as well since then, but I feel like that was really the project that I look back at and I go, wow, this is when we peaked, and now we're, climbing other peaks, but I just felt like that was like a very, great, awesome project.
Nahaha Iktu, directed by Asia Youngman, which we filmed in June of 2021. I think we all really showed up on that production. On the producing side, and Martin's out there like driving boats and stuff. We were on the water, and then we ended up going to TIFF with that project, which I think is really exciting. But I think that's an example of us coming together as a company to support a project and make it happen, even if, I wasn't doing a role that I traditionally do on that.
I really loved growing up with Mi Familia. That project came through Story Hive. Originally, it was pitched as a pilot and through a stream that you would eventually get picked to go to series. So we were making a pilot that was like a 15-minute comedy pilot. It was the first time I was trying a different genre. I was co-writing and directing, and Diana was shooting it, and Martin and Mike were producing it. I remember we had most of our experience kind of really poured into this project, and it was such a fun experience for me because I remember being on set and looking around, and it was the four of us, and we were just literally at the top of our game in the way we were leading the set. We knew what we were doing, we knew what we wanted. We had talked about this project endlessly, that the vision was coming through, and that contagious feeling of excitement kind of poured into everyone that was involved. And it felt like that during prep when we had to cast this big Latin American family. And it felt like that during production because everybody felt like a family. And then in post, it was so much fun to try something different. This is something that all four of us went into together, and it was so cool to have come out of it, especially despite the pandemic.
We had a film come out this year called Curl Power, which I think is probably one of our more successful projects. And I say that because it came to us as a pitch. Part of it had been in production already, but we, developed the rest of it, financed it, shot it. It had its world premiere at the Hot Docs Film Festival in 2024. It was picked up for distribution there. From there, it played, I think, every major film festival in Canada. So not in depending on how you judge success, but success sort of on the festival circuit, success in distribution, and ended up, I think the final count was 86 screens. It played out across Canada, which is quite a wide distribution for a feature documentary.